Astronomical refraction. First, let us have some recap. The spinning of the Earth around its axis is called rotation. The axis is tilted 23.5 degrees, that is 30 minutes, with respect to the plane of the movement around the Sun, that is the orbital plane. The movement of the Earth around the Sun in a fixed path, that is the orbit, is called revolution. Earth rotates and revolves from west to east direction, rotating and revolving in the same direction, that is anticlockwise. It takes approximately 24 hours for rotation and 365 1/4 days, that is approximately 1 year, for the Earth to revolve around the Sun. 6 hours saved every year are added to make 1 day, that is 24 hours, over a span of 4 years. This surplus day is added to the month of February. Thus, every 4th year we have leap year with 366 days, and February will have 29 days. Throughout its orbit, the Earth is inclined in the same direction. Here also you can observe the same. Orbital plane is the plane formed by the orbit. Now, circle of illumination. It is circle that divides the day from night on the globe. It takes 365 1/4 days, that is 1 year, for the Earth to revolve around the Sun. Earth goes around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. Every day the Earth makes one full rotation. That means when the Sun is shining on one part of the Earth, it is night somewhere else of the other part of the Earth. Let us have the second recap. Earth's orbit the Sun in an elliptical path, which means that there is one point of the path when the Sun is at its closest to the Earth and one point when it is farthest away from the Sun. The average distance is 150 million kilometers. But as the orbit is elliptical, there is the difference of distance between Earth and Sun. Perihelion, peri means near. Helion, that is Helios, nearer the Sun, is the point when Earth is closest to the Sun, that is 3rd January. And the distance is 147.5 million kilometers. Aphelion, ap, far away, helion, Sun. Aphelion, far away from the Sun, is the point when the Earth is farthest from the Sun, that is July 4th. The distance is 152.5 million kilometers. Speed of Earth is fastest at perihelion and slowest at aphelion. Variation in the length of daytime and nighttime from season to season are due to the Earth's rotation on its axis, the Earth's revolution around the Sun in an elliptical manner, latitudinal position of the place of direct sun rays, revolution of the Earth on its tilted axis. Revolution plus rotation on a tilted axis gives the variation in seasons, that is variation in daytime and nighttime. Let us have the third recap. Why regions beyond the circles, that is Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, receive sunlight all day long in summer and away from the sunlight in winter? This is because of the tilt of the earth, that is the tilting axis of the earth. Whichever pole faces the sun in summer enjoys sunlight all day long. And there we have summer, and the opposite side will have winter. Here 21st June, the North Pole is facing the sun. Here North Pole facing the sun, and that time they will have summer, whereas opposite side will have winter. Same way on 22nd December, Northern Hemisphere will be having winter and Southern Hemisphere will have summer. Northern Hemisphere will be away from the sun. Southern Hemisphere will be nearer the sun, facing the sun. Whereas September 22nd or 23rd and March 21st, it is equinox. When we are having, that is the Northern Hemisphere will have autumnal equinox, Southern Hemisphere will have vernal equinox, and when Northern Hemisphere will have vernal equinox, Southern Hemisphere will have autumnal equinox. So whichever pole is tilted in the darkness, that hemisphere is experiencing winter during that day. Here the Southern Hemisphere is having winter as it is away from the sun. Now look at this particular diagram. When it is summer in Northern Hemisphere, that time the polar region, Arctic Circle, through and through is thoroughly within the sun's daylight. Whereas during the equinox, all over the earth, it is 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Here again on 22nd December, Arctic Circle is thoroughly within the darkness, and that time it will have winter. Because that time sun rays are vertical on Tropic of Capricorn. Whereas when 21st June, sun rays are vertical on Tropic of Cancer, and 23rd September and 21st March, it will be vertical on equator. Let us look at the position of the sun. Here we can see the sun's position, that is the sun rays are direct from equator towards the north, that is in the northern hemisphere, till Tropic of Cancer during the revolution time. Vertical sun rays and the latitude. During this particular position, that is when it is touching 23.5 degree north, that time sun rays are direct on 23.5 degree north, perpendicular on 23.5 degree north, Tropic of Cancer, that is 90 degree. Whereas 21st March and 23rd September, during the equinox, it is vertical on equator, that is 90 degree perpendicular on the equator. That means sun apparent movement is from equator towards the Tropic of Cancer, again equator, and then Tropic of Capricorn. This is the boundary, that is the tropics are the boundary of the sun's apparent movement, and it crosses equator twice in a year. While it is having direct rays actually crossing short distance in the atmosphere and giving intense heat in a small area in the tropics, whereas in the higher latitudes it is covering crossing long distance of the atmosphere with much more density, and it is lightening a larger area, and that's why larger area less intense of heat, and that's why polar region is colder than the equatorial region. Did you know you can actually see the sun a few minutes before it rises and a few minutes after it sets? This is because of refraction of light. Now, what is refraction of light? Here we can see it is the bending of light when it passes through different mediums from one single medium, here we can see, to another medium, and then we are getting the refracted rays. Astronomical refraction. Astronomical refraction is the deviation of light from a straight line as it passes through the atmosphere due to the variation of air density. Atmospheric layer over here, when the apparent movement of the sun, it is from equator towards the north pole or south pole, but in the higher latitude it has to cross a larger distance, but in the lower latitude it has to cross shorter distance. Astronomical or celestial refraction causes astronomical objects to appear higher above the horizon than they actually are, displacing the celestial object. Like over here, you can see the actual position of the sun is below the horizon, but because of the sun's rays refraction through the atmosphere, we see as if the sun is above the horizon, that is the apparent position of the sun above the horizon. We have twilight because Earth has an atmosphere. Twilight is the time of diffused sunlight between daylight and darkness, whether that is after sunset or before sunrise. Now, the sun is below the horizon, but its rays are scattered by Earth's atmosphere to create the colors of twilight, so there is still some light in the sky even after the sunset. Here we can see near the polar region the apparent movement, the sun's path in the sky is not like it is going overhead. It is from east to west direction. Whereas in the equatorial region it is directly overhead. Polar twilight occurs in areas that are located at the inner border of the polar circles, where the sun will be on or below the horizon less than 60 degrees. Suppose the sun's actual position is below the 60 degree, then the refraction will be there, but the twilight will not form, neither will be able to see. But if it is 60 degree below the horizon or little bit above or near the horizon, then we can see the sunlight and the twilight. Vertical rays of light do not bend, but slanting rays of light that enter the Earth's atmosphere get refracted and bends towards the normal, roughly following the direction of Earth's curvature. Now, Look at this particular diagram. Direct rays, and it does not bend. So less time of diffuse sunlight, whereas slanting rays, long path, more refraction, more time of diffused light. Hence, in the slanting rays in the polar region, there will have the timing of twilight more than the direct rays if we see in the equatorial region or lower latitude. There the diffuse light timing will be less, and as the sun's rays are crossing shorter path, so lesser refraction, so less time of diffused light. Light from the sun near the horizon passes through thicker layer of air and larger distance in Earth's atmosphere before reaching our eyes. However, light from the sun overhead, that is within the tropics, would travel relatively shorter distance, as it has been shown here. The comparison is shown here. This effect is especially powerful during the rising or setting sun throughout the globe, but depends on the seasons and the latitudes. Higher latitude, more timing of diffused sunlight, whereas lower latitude will have less time of diffused sunlight. Because of refraction, the sun may be seen for few minutes before it actually rises in the morning and after it sets in the evening. Even though the actual sun is below the horizon, its apparent image would appear above the horizon due to refraction. But here you have to remember it should be within the 60 degree below the horizon. Otherwise, it will be totally dark. This makes the days longer than nights at the equator, and the sun is visible to us for about 2 minutes before the actual sunrise and about 2 minutes after the actual sunset. Now look at this picture. Here suppose equatorial area if we are seeing, or whatever, we have to see the horizon. If the horizon is over here, a sun is below that, then also in the equatorial region we know 12 hours day, 12 hours night. But then also night is shorter than day because night is not related to sunlight. Day is related to sunlight, and hence when the sun is below the horizon till 60 degree, that time actually we are seeing the apparent position of the sun above the horizon. So 2 minutes before the morning actual sunrise and 2 minutes after sunset, that means total 4 minutes are more than the night time. At noon the sun appears white as only a little of the blue and violet colors are scattered. Near the horizon most of the blue light and shorter wavelengths are scattered away by the particles. Therefore, the light that reaches our eyes is of longer wavelengths. This gives us the rise to the reddish appearance of the sun. Now, just observe two areas, that is the globe's equatorial area, tilting position, and the polar zone. Both are rotating from west to east, but sun rays in the polar zone, if it is till 66.5 degree north, here it is showing the northern hemisphere, that time the northern hemisphere, especially the north pole, is totally within the sun rays, that is daytime. Why? The sun rays in the horizon and it appears as if the sun is moving, apparently moving along the horizon from this direction, west to east direction, whereas over here in the equatorial region or tropical region or any lower latitude, the apparent movement of the sun is as if it is rising and then it is moving away from the sun, and they will have night. From night to day it is entering. Here the direct sun rays, less diffuse sunlight, whereas as the sun rays are till the horizon of 66.5 degree and the flattened polar region, so it will have diffused twilight through and through the 6 months. Length of the day. We know that direct sun rays in June, northern hemisphere, and direct sun rays in December in southern hemisphere. Over here, the sun's apparent movement changes as per the seasons. Now, as per the seasons, over here we can see direct sun rays on 23.5 degree, that is 90 degree perpendicular on the latitude, and hence northern hemisphere is having more daylight summer season, whereas southern hemisphere is having less daylight and winter season. North pole is totally within the sunlight as it is shown over here as well as over here, whereas south pole will be totally within the darkness. And because of this, the timing of daylight will be changing. At the 23.5 degree, it is 13 hours 27 minutes, whereas equator will have 12 hours. Then at Tropic of Capricorn, it will be 10 hours 33 minutes. Then Antarctic Circle will have 5 hours 31 minutes. But when we reach the South Pole, it will be totally dark. Whereas North Pole will be totally within the sunlight, that is 24 hours day. Variation of the duration of twilight is related to the angle made by the path of the rising and setting sun with respect to the horizon. Higher latitude slanting sun rays, more refraction, more time of twilight. Lower latitude direct sun rays, lesser refraction, lesser time of twilight. Sunrise and sunset durations are maximum in both hemispheres at the time of both solstices and minimal near the dates of both equinoxes. Twilight durations increases with latitude further away from the equator, reaching extremes near the Arctic Circle as shown over here, or Antarctic Circle around the date of the North Solstice, and near the Antarctic Circle around the date of Southern Solstice, that is 22nd December and here 21st January. On the day of the North Solstice at about a degree south of the Arctic Circle, the solar angle is almost parallel to the horizon. So, sun takes a long time to rise, spends more of 24 hours above the horizon, then takes a long time to set, whereas on the same day, about a degree north of the Antarctic Circle, the solar angle there is also almost parallel to the horizon. So sun likewise takes long time to rise but spends very little time above the horizon, then takes a long time to set. The converse occurs on the day of the south solstice. Here you can see there are different types of twilight, but we'll just take it together as common time of twilight. 60 degree till 60 degree if the sun is appearing below the horizon, then we'll have twilight. But below 60 degree, that time we'll have darkness.